Sekiro Shadows Die Twice is a 2019 action game developed by FromSoftware about a fictional version of old Japan and a young master who gets kidnapped, so it's up to one of his ninjas, or Shinobi, to come and rescue him as he battles his way through countless soldiers and bosses. Playing as Wolf, you walk into a new area, or even better, leap into it using a grappling hook, and then try and take out as many enemies as possible using stealth. But when that goes wrong, the combat comes down to good timing, especially when it comes to the blocks. It's about breaking down the enemy's posture so that you can move in and do a death blow on them. Most of the samurai you fight aren't much of a threat as you pick them off one by one. I've seen some tweets comparing the combat more to something like Metal Gear Rising Revengeance than to a Dark Souls game. And speaking of Revengeance, I love that in this too the ninja loses an arm and gets it replaced with a prosthetic. They work this into the gameplay by making it become sort of a gadget arm with lots of secret weapons to attach to it. You're kind of like a ninja version of Mega Man, learning different arm attacks. And rather than leveling up like in a normal RPG, instead you learn new moves, techniques and abilities. It can be frustrating knowing that the only way to gain more health or get stronger is by beating bosses. But these bosses, they're not so easy. They're where the real challenge lies. As for the settings and look of the game, it's got this earthy, really nice natural tone, as if the whole game takes place on a fresh autumn day. Plus it's not afraid to show a little violence. Now I'm going to state the obvious now and say that it's a lot like Dark Souls, but with a Japanese twist. So again, it's about making your way through a dark and dangerous land. It's difficult and you're going to get used to dying a lot, especially to those bosses. And then there's the bonfires, or as they're called here, Sculptor's Idols, which will respawn all of the enemies. It's almost all very much like a Souls game, but it plays so differently. For one, it's got way more focus on the story, with more cutscenes and more characters to meet. It's a much faster game, with your character feeling lighter on their feet. And I can't emphasize enough that when it comes down to the fighting, it is all about timing. So Shadows Die Twice, what's with that title? Well, at least once per life, you get to revive yourself. It feels like an old school arcade mechanic where you insert another coin to continue. And if you can time it right, you can surprise whatever killed you as they're walking away thinking that their job's done. But don't worry, because the enemy can provide a few surprises of their own. So, would I recommend Sekiro Shadows Die Twice? Yes, absolutely, especially if you like a challenge and like the Dark Souls games. However, it does play very differently from those, so not all Souls fans are going to like it. And if you're not the type who doesn't mind battling away at a game, slowly getting better, then you're probably not going to get very far with it. But if you're willing to die and die and die and still keep going, then the payoff is great. Thanks for watching.